So this woman and other neighbors are planning on suing Jake Paul if things don't change. And I'm sure you guys are wondering, why would Jake Paul's neighbors want to sue him? Well, I have all the video clips, news reports, tweets, interviews, and even reactions from Jake, Erica, and Nick Crompton. You guys don't want to miss out on this. I'm going to break it all down for you guys right now. But real quick, I just want to let you guys know, if you didn't notice, at the top of the comments, we have a pinned Amazon gift card. We do that on every video. All you got to do is make sure you like the video, subscribe, and turn notifications on. You have a really good shot at being one of the first people to get to the video and get that Amazon gift card. That's all you got to do. But anyways, let's go ahead and break down this entire situation. So yesterday, a news report came out that Jake Paul's neighbors are planning on suing him, and he could actually be facing a class action public nuisance lawsuit. Basically, if you guys don't know what that is, a public nuisance means that someone is behaving in such a way as to cause a group of people to either suffer a health hazard or otherwise lose the free and peaceful enjoyment of their property. So Jake Paul's neighbors feel like he has been such a nuisance to them that they can no longer enjoy their property peacefully. Like I said, I have all the info on this guy, so make sure you stick around to the end to see everything that's been going down. First, let's go ahead and get into this news report. So in this news report, they start off by showing like a montage of some of the stuff that Jake Paul has done, and they bring up the fact that it's very easy to find Jake Paul's house, and that could actually be a big source of the problem.
He apparently makes his address no secret, and that piece of information draws an endless stream of fans, mostly young girls, the day we visited, and their parents, to the property.
He's funny. Savage.
Savage?
So when you search the Team 10 house on Google, it comes up with the address immediately. It's super easy to find. And Jake has never really tried to hide where he lives, has always been public, but with his popularity skyrocketing over the last few months, it looks like this has caused swarms of fans to go to their house every day. And this has been a big part of the neighbors' issue. Since there's always 25 to 50 people hanging out on the streets, if not more than that, it can make getting around very difficult, not to mention that, it's really loud all the time with that many fans around. But unfortunately for Jake, there isn't really much he can do about that anymore. He recently hired some security guards to try and keep people away, but once your address is public, there isn't really any way to reverse that. But it seems like the biggest issue with the neighbors is some of the stunts that he's pulled, for the vlogs and stuff like that and around the house, like burning furniture in a fire pit. This is where we get to hear from the neighbors directly and see why they're planning on suing Jake if this doesn't stop.
Pool and setting the pile on fire. Neighbors say flames eventually grew higher than the house, and as the pit was burning and smoking, they were fuming.
We used to be a really nice, quiet street, and now we're just this, war zone. We're families here, and we're more than happy to have them live here if they're respectful of their neighbors, but they're not.
But as neighbors living with this every day, we're fed up.
So as you guys just heard from two different neighbors, they feel like Jake Paul is disrespectful. They're fed up. They feel like, where they used to live was peaceful, but it's not like that anymore. And they feel like they're living in a war zone. And after the news reporter talked to the neighbors, Jake came outside. He jumped on top of the news van, and then he gave an interview kind of giving his side. But the reporter also speaks on how the neighbors are feeling a little bit, saying that Jake Paul has created a living hell, and this is how Jake responds.
They say that you've created a living hell out here, that it's like a circus.
Yeah, it is.
All the fans.
But people like going to circuses, right?
What do you say to the neighbors, though, that are upset? And they're really upset.
No, I honestly...
You can't beat them, join them.
No, I'm honestly, yeah, it's terrible. It's a bad situation. No, I feel bad for them, for sure. There's nothing we could do, though. The Jake Paulers are the strongest army out there. Dab.
So Jake said that he does feel bad about the situation, but like I said, there isn't really anything he can do at this point. His address is already public, so his only option at this point is to just, move somewhere else and try to keep it a secret if that's even possible. But this is not the only platform that Jake decided to respond on. This news report actually came out on Monday, and Jake took to Twitter posting a clip of the news interview and wrote, "@neighbors, you won't do it," pretty much daring his neighbors to sue him at this point. But after the story really broke yesterday, Jake Paul started firing off some more tweets and even retweeting some fans on Twitter. So he started off saying, "Don't conform to society." Then he realized the whole story was trending, and he tweeted out, "LOL, it's trending." He retweeted a few fans. One of them said there's 8.5 million people in the world who would do anything to live next to the Team 10 house. Another one said, "We are savages, we're lit, we're powerful, we prank people, we love Team 10, we love Bizarre Vark, we are Jake Paulers." Then he retweeted one more person saying, saying he ain't gonna listen to nobody, he's still gonna flip and send it, dude. And then his next tweet, he said, I'm still gonna send it. And then late last night, he fired off one more tweet saying, crazy how so many people care about me being a bad neighbor, bigger fish to fry, innocent people are getting shot every day, you should worry about that. So Jake feels like people shouldn't be worrying about him being a bad neighbor, you know, when there's people dying and all, you know, all sorts of crazy stuff going on out there in the world that should just, you know, be handled first. And then we also got a tweet from the legend Nick Crompton retweeting the story where it said LA residents say Jake Paul is making their street a living hell. Nick Crompton said hell is pretty lit from where I'm standing. But Twitter is not the only place that Jake Paul decided to respond. There is a channel on YouTube called The Hollywood Fix that goes around, you know, they interview celebrities kind of like TMZ, and they went over to the Team 10 house to get Jake's reaction on the entire situation. But first they talked to Erica as she was going into the house, and this is what she had to say about everything.
Saying it's like a war zone out here?
Yeah, that's a little dramatic, but we do understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are, that is crazy.
Pretty lit from the inside, though.
Yeah, I mean, they said it's like a war zone out here, and like there's like fires and stuff catching on fire and all that.
We have really good special effects out there in the back.
I don't see any fires, so that's crazy.
No, but honestly, we did apologize to the neighbors. We said sorry, and we're gonna try to keep everything down as much as we can.
So Erica actually gets some pretty valuable information here. You know, she does feel like the neighbors are being, you know, a little bit over dramatic, but she understands where they're coming from. She said that they also apologized to the neighbors. You know, it looks like they're going to try and, you know, do what they can to fix the situation. And as for the fire pit, they're claiming that it was all special effects, you know, probably to try to keep them from getting in more trouble. Or maybe it was special effects, who knows? But the Hollywood Fix also caught up with Jake Paul in this video, and honestly, he didn't really have too much to say, but he did have a special news anchor there to answer questions for him.
We have an official news anchor.
Sir, they say that this neighborhood is a war zone. Do you feel that this neighborhood is a war zone? No? Do you think that Jake is a nice guy, or do you think that he's giving the neighbors problems? Huh?
He's good.
He's good? He's a good guy?
So this is just a, you know, a cute little clip of this kid saying that Jake is a good guy. And like I said, Jake didn't really have anything to say after that. He just went back inside the house. But if you guys didn't notice, in this video, there is a security guard at the gate, like I mentioned earlier, trying to keep people away. So it does look like they're, you know, trying to do what they can at this point, you know, to keep things as calm as possible. But I'm not sure how much they can really do. But this entire situation has been going on for months. If you guys remember, back on May 12th, Jake recorded a vlog titled I'm Done Vlogging. And he made this video because, guess what? His neighbors were threatening to sue him. So this whole situation really started back in May, and it's just been building up to this point that we're at now. His neighbors sent him a letter basically telling him if he didn't stop filming and doing crazy stuff at the property, they were going to sue him.
My client is resolved to take legal action against you to stop the ongoing nuisance at the property. Demand is hereby made that these nuisance activities and all film production immediately cease. That my client shall have no choice but to take any and all actions available at law and in equity, including but not limited to filing a lawsuit against you for damages and seeking injunctive relief.
So this is where it all began, and you know, it's pretty crazy that it's still going on, but I guess we probably should have seen this coming. They did threaten to sue him months ago, and I guess now it's just actually beginning to happen because, of course, Jake is not going to stop, you know, vlogging. Obviously, he's getting almost 500 million views a month right now, so I don't think he cares what anyone has to say. He's not going to stop vlogging no matter what. But in this letter, we also get a list of things that Jake Paul has done that's bringing them to this lawsuit.
The list of outrageous, disruptive, and dangerous activities create an ongoing nuisance does not stop there. Over the past months, Mr. Paul and his associates have used trampolines on the roof of the property, creating a danger to themselves and a great potential liability. They have brought a live kangaroo to the house.
So this is what the neighbors are saying has, you know, been a public nuisance to them. Basically, they said they've been doing things such as putting trampolines on the roof, bringing a live kangaroo into the house, setting up a kissing booth outside the house with swarms of fans, dropping watermelons from the roof, throwing footballs from the roof, and of course, the fire pit that we talked about earlier in the video that may or may not have been special effects. So all that, along with fans constantly being outside the house, is why the neighbors are planning on suing Jake Paul. But we're gonna have to wait and see if that actually happens. Because at the end of that news report that I showed you guys clips from earlier in the video, the reporter says that next week the neighbors are meeting with city leaders, police officers, and code enforcement officials, and depending on what happens in that meeting, they will decide whether to file that lawsuit or not. So I don't think this drama is done yet. It actually looks like it's just getting started. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens from here. It's really crazy. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and please let me know down in the comments if you think that Jake deserves to be sued for all of this, or if you think the neighbors are just hating on him. Let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this whole situation. I'm pretty curious to see what you guys have to say. But that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. It's been Extract Up. I will catch you guys later. Peace out.